Welcome back.
Yes.
Judy Dollison from the Better Business Bureau. Always a pleasure to have you in studio.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm going to have you scoot up a little closer to this so we can hear you loud and clear. We're talking about moving scams right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And, you know, I was explaining to you that when I moved from Iowa to Ohio, that I found myself in, because you see all of these moving companies advertised on social media. And if you just Google moving companies, you've got scores of people that maybe names you've not heard of.
Right.
And, you know, they start asking, you know, they're going to allow you to only pay by check or debit card.
Debit cards or gift cards. Or,
right. And the ones that I initially went with were like, you know, they started doing that. I was like, this feels a little weird. And when I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to go with, I think I ended up using United, which is one of the big names out there. I canceled and it got a very aggressive phone call.
Right,
and, you know, I lost my deposit over it, but at least I have my things.
Right. And it can escalate into so much more serious. We see with moving scams, it can be everything from just a deposit and they don't show up to you make your deposit, they show up, they load your belongings, and now they need more money than what they quoted. So you're kind of feeling like, well, my belongings are already loaded on the truck. What am I going to do at this point? And then the most serious is when everything seems to be going well. You make your deposit, they show up, you go to your final destination, you wait for the truck to show up, and then you get a phone call saying, we're holding your belongings hostage and we will not deliver until you make a big payment. So it can get pretty serious.
Right. And those are the horror stories that you hear over and over that, well, they quoted me this, but now they want double, triple.
Right. Yes. Oftentimes, if they have it loaded on the truck or they're calling you and saying you need to make a payment, it is so much more than that initial quote that they have given you. And it's important when you're looking at moving companies that you understand there are different types of estimates that you can get. So there's binding estimates where they say, here's the quote, and it has to be that number. Or there's non-binding where it says it's not, it must be in a range of that number, or, a not to exceed quote. So when you're talking to moving company, there's just a lot of information that you want to get up front. But the worst thing is when they are making you pay an amount that you didn't expect.
Yeah,
that's uncomfortable.
When you're looking to move, what are some of the signs? What do you look out for to know that the people that I'm signing this contract with are reputable and that my belongings are going to show up at the amount that I anticipate?
Right. So you always want to look. We say look on bbb.org is a great place to look, but you want to do research into the company. So it's best not to be doing it at the last minute, right? Look for do they have a professional website? Do they have contact information? Do they have, when they show up to do the estimate or to take your belongings, do they have a logo on their truck? Is it a local license plate, right? If it looks like a rented truck, that might be a red flag. You also want to talk to them about the estimates that they're giving. If they're giving you an estimate over the phone and they haven't seen the belongings, well, how can they give an accurate estimate? So that's a red flag. And also just if any of the documentation that they're giving you to sign is vague or lacks information, you want to make sure the details are in writing and that you agree to the details before you sign anything and before you let them take your property. And then if they're giving you pressure, like you said, with your situation, any type of unusual payment that they want you to make, a large upfront payment or payment in full, payment in untraditional methods like gift cards or wire transfers, and then that pressure that if you don't take advantage of their offer, you're not going to have anyone to help you move, and you may feel desperate and feel like you have to. So
right, and we know these folks they know that if you're hiring movers, you're in a situation where you're a short amount of time. I mean, I was doing this in a matter of a couple weeks of like, I need somebody to move all of my things.
Yeah.
I've never used
3
movers.
states away.
Never.
Yeah, I did. It was.
But my husband and I said when we moved here like a year and a half ago, we were like, we are not moving ourselves again.
No.
We need to use movers next time because it's overwhelming.
It is, and when you have a good one, it's great. It's a great help, but you just have to do your research in advance.
What is the average cost? Sorry, I'm just curious. What should people be paying in Central Ohio if you're moving? Like, let's say your family of 4, 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
Right. So a lot of times they base the estimate on the weight.
Okay.
And that's a good way to base it because we all can understand what weight is. Sometimes you'll get some that try to do it on cubic feet or volume, which is a more difficult number to understand. So it really so much depends, the estimate was going to depend on how much you're moving, how far you're moving. So there's a lot of dynamics that go into that. But weight is a good, you want to, when you're talking about the estimate, you want to understand how they're getting to that estimate. And so weight is a good way to, for all of us to kind of really make sure that we're getting a fair quote.
All right.
Okay.
And before we let you go this morning, some new information just out this morning is that employment scams doubled in 2025.
Yikes.
Talk to me about this study.
Right. In the last 3 years, based on this study, BBB has had over 50,000 employment scams that have been reported to our scam tracker. And almost half of these were reported just in 2025. So we're seeing this large uptick of employment scams. And the way the employment scams typically work is you get a call that you've been matched by, through a platform that you're the perfect person. They do a very quick interview, either over the phone or if it's online, there's no one on the other side. They're not turning their camera on, and they'll make a very quick offer. It may be on the spot, much quicker than you would expect in a true formal job interview. So oftentimes they will ask you for some type of upfront payment. This is kind of the hallmark of an employment scam. They'll say, you need training supplies or some kind of equipment that you have to pay yourself, and then you'll get reimbursed later on for that.
Don't do it.
Right, right. Anything upfront is a huge red flag with this. In this most recent version that we're seeing is this task-based employment, where they're saying they want you to optimize YouTube videos or any type of customer review. And so they put you in a dashboard that has these opportunities, they call them. So you have an opportunity to click on these reviews to make more money. But in order to unlock these tasks, you have to put in money into the platform. So again, they're asking for this upfront payment. You get these tasks assigned to you. You may even see like a balance growing and as you're earning and doing the tasks. But when you go to withdraw the money, obviously they're not going to let you withdraw it. So these upfront payments, no matter what type of employment scam it kind of takes, is usually what you see as the red flag.
All right. Judy Dollison with the Better Business Bureau joining us. Thank you so much.
you.
Always a pleasure.